we had a lot of background talk before we went into that about what to say and what the kind of questions we were going to get given. But I remember someone saying, it was a Danish commentator, and he said, you're kind of like a Batman and Robin situation. I said, yeah, but I'm fucking Batman. I can never forget that.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Move podcast, brought to you each and every day by Ketone IQ. We're talking about stage 10. Alain, what's happening? What up?
Stage 10 from Orléans to Saint-Amand-Montrond. Oh. From Orléans to Saint-Amand-Montrond.
Wow. I'm Lance Armstrong. I am joined by my, if you're watching the show,
you got to watch the show.
You got to watch the show to see this look. Sir Bradley Wiggins, who clearly walked around Aspen a little too long yesterday, like everybody else that comes to Aspen. I mean, let me tell you something, folks. You want to get rich? Move to Aspen, open a cowboy hat store, and I don't know if you'll be buying jizzies or yachts, but you'll make a lot of money. So clearly they suckered him in. Look at the hat. Look at the man.
Yeah, it looks good though, doesn't it?
It looks great.
It looks really good.
Yeah.
I was going to add to Bradley's Palmaris. We did a nice intro to him the other day. He's been in Aspen 3 days now. Now he's got cowboyhood status officially from the whole Aspen local crew. And one thing I learned last night at dinner, which I don't even think Lance knows, and I'm surprised he doesn't, but Sir Bradley Wiggins is also a ski jumper and won a ski jumping reality TV show contest. Can we pull up the picture of Sir Bradley Wiggins being a ski jumper?
This can't be right.
I mean, look at this.
Oh,
amazing. No. He won 2017.
I didn't win.
I thought you didn't win, or you did win? Oh, you were messing with me.
Are you screwing with us?
I broke my leg.
Oh, you did?
I broke my leg. Yeah.
Is that real?
You left that part out of the story last night.
Which sounds better. Yeah.
I tell you, the photo is good, but I'd love to see the actual footage.
Do we have any videos of you jumping?
We'll be somewhere on YouTube, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We will be digging that.
I'll make a note.
Ski jumper as well. I mean... Olympic medalist.
That's what Rollick used to do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, crazy.
We talk a lot about him, primarily the crash.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't ever talk about like his longest ski jump or how long his career in ski jumping was. We always just say, "Wow, you guys got to look up this crash." I mean, that's a fantastic win from Jasper Philipsen and just the absolute. I mean. I'm not sure I could have won that sprint, but with a lead out like that, that's a dream lead out with Vanderpool going and won handily and finally, right? 10 stages, 9 different teams. So this theme continues. I love it. I think it's great. I think it's great for all the teams, great for the tour. We're going to get into all the action. Before we do, today's show brought to you by Element. Folks, you hear me talk about it all the time. I sweat my ass off. And you know who else sweats their ass off? Sir Bradley Wiggins. I have noticed this. I saw him in the gym this morning. The boy sweats. Projectile sweats. I see him every morning in the kitchen.
Sweating.
Well, he's not sweating early, but I see him mixing up the element.
Yeah.
Huh? You love it. 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, 60 milligrams of magnesium. No sugar, no gluten, no artificial ingredients, no BS. It is the real deal. Check this out. The Element sample pack includes 1 packet of every flavor that they make. All right, there's 8 of them. I don't need to name them. Most of y'all know them. Check it out. And if you don't like it, give it to a friend. No problem, right? Also, I love this tagline. Just become a part of the salty revolution. Get your free 8-count sample pack with any Element purchase. Head on over to drinklmnt.com/themove. That's drinklmnt.com/themove. You can also try the new Element Sparkling and join the salty revolution.
Which also, I'm enjoying right now.
It's so
Element
good.
Sparkling.
It's very good. Also today brought to you by Ekoi, a new partner of ours. We've been rocking the new Ekoi Gara helmet. I keep looking at myself and all these pictures that Liz takes and all the videos that Colton takes. I don't understand. We have the same helmet. I don't understand why we don't look the same. Has that ever happened to you, Bradley?
Yeah, of course it has.
I mean, I'm looking at these videos. I'm like, is my geek gap off? I don't look the same.
In a good way or bad way?
I think you look...
In a bad... No, I look like a loser.
No, you don't. You look good.
I look like a Fred. All right, for all you cycling fans, I look like a Fred. And,
that's good.
And they pan over... Let me see. And they pan over to George... I don't. That's a very different look.
Camera.
You actually do kind of look like Bobby Julich in that one. So I probably have you there. We'll get to Julik later.
They actually, Bobby and I get mistaken for brothers all the time, and people.
Don't.
You love that.
I would not repeat that.
Hey, I'm a huge Bobby Julik fan.
All right. Check this out. They are one of the few brands that truly develops its products in close collaboration with pro athletes across all the disciplines: road cycling, triathlon, gravel, and mountain bike. Pretty soon, all 4 of those will be in the Tour de France. If what we see, we believe. You never know. Ekoi is the most represented brand in this tour. 4 teams. You got Israel Premier Tech, Lotto Destiny, Arkea, and Cofidis. Ekoi also equips numerous riders with shoes. George, you got the new shoes.
I do.
Yeah,
I need to get a
I saw.
pair of cleats.
I'm getting mine cleated up. They look amazing. Carlos Rodriguez is rocking those. The entire Ekoi website is currently on sale until the end of July. Man, you're gonna have a little gap. This Tour de France ends on the 21st. Like 10 more days. It gets you 60% discount. Hard to find better deals. Special offer with the code THEMOVE. You get $15 off any purchase of $150. Head on over to Ekoi. All right, listen. EKOI. Ekoi.com until the end of July. And use the code THEMOVE. Also today brought to you by Momentous. Most people know how important a healthy diet is for your brain and body to function at their best day in and day out. But we're still short most of the time on our most essential nutrients to be the best. And you know what? All of us included. My personal go-tos are Momentous Creatine, Omega-3, and protein each and every day to make sure I'm covering all of my bases. By the way, on the protein thing, George, I heard you a second ago. We're supposed to have, what'd you say, 1 gram of protein for every pound we weigh every day?
I'm no expert, but that's what I heard. Yes, and I think we're not covering that.
All right, folks.
Quite.
Listen, everybody can do that math. Get on the scale, look in the back of the bottle or the product. I mean, that's a lot. I am seriously lacking in protein, right?
I'm actually okay with that because both you guys are so freaking yoked right now.
Yoked is the word.
I'm fine with me doing more protein than y'all right now, so I can try to catch up to the yokeness.
Yeah. Let's talk about their creatine for a second. Research suggests that creatine is as essential as any other macronutrient for optimal brain and body function. Momentous Creatine is sourced from Germany. You guys also know, you've probably seen some of the clips us been hitting the gym. We also love the Omega-3, which is sourced from Norway. Momentous won our trust because they walk the walk. Just go look at any pro team's locker room. You're going to see a lot of Momentous stuff. Head on over to livemomentous.com/themove. Use the code THEMOVE for 20% off all of our favorite products. That's livemomentous.com/themove. By the way, for you longtime listeners, Momentous used to be Amp Human. And had the PR lotion, the lactate buffering lotion. Also on the it's also still a part of the product suite. So, anyways, great. Phillipson, he was pretty emotional at the finish. His girl was definitely. Yeah. I mean, I heard some tears going on there.
Sir Bradley Wiggins pointed out it's the daughter of Frank Vandenbroek. So imagine if they actually have children together, the bloodline they will have for future potential cyclists. Quite interesting. Thank you for pointing that out.
Did I point that out?
You did this morning.
I don't remember that.
I didn't know that.
But today was the quintessential lead out, perfect lead out. I mean, that was
perfect. Textbook.
Anybody who knows anything about cycling sees that team in front like that with Van der Poel having a clear shot to the finish line. It's game over. I mean, basically, with a kilometer to go, we all said it's going to be almost impossible to beat Phillipson, and he did it handedly.
It was a strange day, wasn't it?
It was.
It was a rare day for the Tour de France, that.
It was chill.
And I think that was from 2 days ago. We said how fast they were racing, how hard they were racing going into a rest day. We spoke about the rest day yesterday on 2 days ago. I think that was sort of a gentleman's agreement today, wasn't it? That we're just all going to...
It was a logical day. We don't see any logic anymore in the Tour de France. Today, breakaway is virtually impossible to make it to the line. Like you said, Bradley, the guys are tired. So why attack and waste energy? No TV attacks today. They just put it all in for the finish.
I mean, you're right. We touched on it going into the rest day. If you're a rider like that, I mean, that's the perfect way to come out of a rest day. Like, let's all just sort of have conversation. It is conversational, right? Even though it's however long, 5-6 hours. You saw the boys out there.
It was so conversational that you didn't even let me listen to the race during the workout in the gym. Yeah, because it was boring. I agree, it was boring.
But days like that, they can be the worst days as well. You can end up feeling worse for riding so slow, can't you?
Yep, agreed. Because once they start amping up the pace at the end, your legs are like, "Hey, I'm kind of half asleep here." So those days hurt a lot.
And had weather. We had periods of rain. Boy, looking at that, thank goodness it dried up and the roads were dry at the finish. Tricky little chicane there at the end. That could have been nasty if that rain was at the finish.
A 7th stage win for Philipsen, which is amazing. Last year he had so many wins in the green jersey.
The last 2 years, right?
So frustrated. I mean, unbelievably frustrated this first week.
Well, first of all, congratulations to him for winning the stage. Secondly, he is not going to win the green jersey. I got bad news.
Well, yeah,
he's not.
Brought the gap closer. I think he got 22 more points today. But you're right. In the form that Bingham Gourmet is in, he is so good. He'll make breakaways. He can get those little important green jersey point sprints in between the mountain stages. So yeah, it's going to be a tough role for.
I love the kid. His and we're talking about Bingham Gourmet for a second. I mean, his interview, his post-race interview, he's so calm. There's something about this guy, and so I like this guy so much. And even you were surprised in the gym when we were watching and we were talking about him. I don't want to go anywhere. Yeah. Right? I'm chilling right now in Aspen.
I was very surprised about this.
I'm going to go home. And when this is all over in a few weeks after the Tour de France Femme of Expo, I'm going to go home to Austin. I'm just going to chill. I would go to Eritrea. All right, I got to figure out how to get there on a map, but I legit would go there. I think I'm crazy. I'm curious as hell. Like all the stuff we've read about the cycling history, and I would love to. This is okay. Well, I got you. All right. I don't know if anybody's listening or watching. We have had some comments on the YouTube from folks in Eritrea. They're on that dial-up. Anyways, that's how they're. You remember the old login or whatever?
How's it go? Modem.
But if I want some clips of what the scene is like at local bars, local cycling clubs, wherever you are watching the Tour de France. It's got to be insane. I want to see that first, and secondly, I want to come down there, over there.
Send it to themove@wedo.team. Let us know what's going on. Attach your phone number.
Sir Bradley, have you ever been to?
No, I haven't. No.
Would you go?
I'd love to go.
Thank you.
Yeah,
George.
I'm in. Let's go. Let's get
George, by the way, George would go anywhere.
Get one of your jizzy friends and line it up.
No, not my jizzy friends. Okay. Other update today. Alexander Vlasov did not start the stage. Most of us saw this crash of his the other day. I mean, looked terrible. The guy got right up and got back on his bike. I shouldn't say that. He got back on his spare bike.
Okay. He was woozy. Like he was wobbling when they handed him the bike, and it was so strung out because it was the gravel stage that they didn't do the usual protocol for concussion. It looked dangerous
because there were no cars. Sorry, team. The race doctor's not here. We cannot do the concussion test. Just get back on the bike.
Jump on your bike.
Show the bike. This is what happened. This is the consequence of that crash. That bike is broken in 3 places. And I think it's worth noting, every bike in the peloton, this is a specialized, but every single bike in this peloton would break exactly the same way. They're all meant, by the way, they're meant to break where they break, right? Those 3 brakes that you see, the down tube, the seat stay, and the top tube, that is the thinnest material on the bike. That's how they make them as light as possible. That's where they're supposed to break. So anyways, he gets back on his spare bike. He finishes the stage. Then we have the rest day. What does he do on the rest day? Goes and gets an x-ray. Finishes that stage too. Yeah. There's no easy stage. Broken ankle. I mean, you and I are, Bradley, you and I are aligned on this soccer thing. What soccer player keeps running around? No. I mean, you breathe on their ankle and they lay down, they roll around, they want a yellow card, an orange card, a red card, and they flop around, right? Yeah, Alexander Vlasov finishes the stage after the bike breaks like that, and he breaks his ankle, and he's forced to abandon. I mean, I think that just shows just how tough.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, Geraint Thomas, if you remember 2013, he rode 3 weeks with a broken pelvis.
Yeah, I remember that.
He discovered after the tour that he had a broken pelvis.
Yeah.
We saw Matteo Jorgensen's arm and shoulder and just gooey, and he can't sleep, and just.
And Lance Armstrong told a story about where he might have had a little boo-boo on his shoulder last year and had to go to the hospital, and said how much pain he was in. Flew back and was wondering what was happening. I mean, I remember that.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
That's because the man never crashed. So got to give him some props on that one. I was about
not
to
used to the
open
pain. My mouth and say, you're missing one part. The one part is it's better if you just don't hit the ground.
Yeah.
Well, it speaks volumes about their toughness, and it's the Tour de France.
Yeah.
You don't want to go home at the Tour de France, especially after you've invested a day in it.
And it speaks volumes of how hard that stage actually was mentally, physically. And he crashed on a straight road. And what's happening there? Your heart rate's at 190, 200 beats per minute, and you just can't react as quick as you would normally. And you make small little mistakes, which you end up in a ditch with a bike broken in 3 different places and a broken ankle.
And we are not the only ones recognizing this. I mean, don't think for a second this doesn't go along. Like, if you're on his team, you're like, man, our teammate is a bad motherfucker.
Yeah.
Right. And every other team out there, like, those are the guys you want. Like, which one of y'all is going to go break your bike like that, break your ankle, and then go ahead and finish this stage? Not many. Those are the dudes you want.
And let's not forget, I mean, obviously, huge loss for the team. He's one of the best climbers in the world, Primož Roglič. I feel like he's going to get better and better as they get into the higher mountains. And he really needed a guy like Alexander Vlasov.
What's your over-under on that, Bradley?
Yeah, I think it's a loss to the team, that's for sure. But I actually think he could have come through the whole race and been the team leader. I actually think he would have surpassed Roglič. If Roglič has one bad day, with Vlasov, he's tried and tested in the past. He's been up there, and I just think that it would have been a pass in the baton. I think it's a shame that he's out, and it was such a weird crash as well when he crashed out the line.
Yeah.
I think we did see a slow-mo of it early this morning. The road actually comes in. He gets his back wheel caught in
just those.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
A real freak accident.
Yeah. He didn't see it coming for sure. No time to react.
No.
We'll talk about tomorrow. The tour enters the Massif Central. I love the Massif Central. Most people don't love it.
I hate the Massif Central.
I knew that was coming. It's just tough ride, and we're going to get into what tomorrow's stage brings, because it's got a little attitude. Before we do, today's show brought to you by Ketone IQ. We often hear that fasting and exercise are good for the brain. HVMN launched the world's first drinkable ketone in 2017. Ketone IQ is their latest innovation on ketones with improved effectiveness, taste, and cost. Ketone IQ delivers clean fuel that can cross the blood-brain barrier.
I realized that the other day.
We saw it, and we have a really.
Let me pull that one up.
We have an incredible clip of Sir Bradley. We didn't tell the crew that this was on our minds, but this was. We'll bring it up tomorrow, because we're probably going to talk about ketones tomorrow. But it is, folks, you might want to put the kids away before they watch this. By the way, Ketone IQ has a partnership with Visma Lease a Bike. We saw Michael Brandt, the CEO of Ketone IQ, over at the tour. And somebody's just running around on the side of the road with like one of those air up.
I think he's coming here in a couple of days.
Yeah, let's hope he leaves that whatever that thing he's wearing on what he's running on the side. Michael, don't bring that thing here. We're not doing that on the move. All right. 30% off your first subscription order. Could you understand that? Yeah. Barely. You're yawning. Thank you. 30% off your first subscription order plus a free 6-pack when you use the link ketone.com/themove. Also today brought to you by Roka. Roka has invented a completely new class of eyewear. Glasses optimized for performance. No other eyewear brand can keep up with what all you guys and gals are out there doing. They just keep making their stuff better and better. Rob and his crew down in our hometown of Austin, Texas, just crushing. I keep seeing these other guys wearing these glasses in the tour. It is hard to watch. I'm like, bro, throw some Rokas on, please. Also, too, as I'm wearing right now, they're prescription glasses. Just so you know, they have the exact same technology as their performance sunglasses. Who knew? And I just had a thought. I mean, you got the new cowboy hat.
Yeah.
Let's try it. And what if you go, and these are actually called the banderas, so that sort of sounds cowboy-esque. Hold on. Oh, my God. Look at this man.
Nobody's going to mess with that guy.
It just makes you want to say motherfucker.
Okay, listen, Bradley has survived 3 days in Aspen. By all accounts, he says he's not leaving. He also says that he's going to go to the rodeo tomorrow night. You roll up with that look at the rodeo.
All right.
We got to get boots.
We know sometimes how these horses look when you're driving by. Like I'm not going there on that. Let's be serious.
That is.
You look totally badass. That's the move, folks.
That's the move.
Cowboy hat and Roca Banderas.
You should give him the boomstick for that look.
He had it earlier. I don't know what he's doing with it. He's giving himself a boomstick. All right.
What'd you do then?
Oh, shit. Wow. Okay. The Move listeners get 20% off. Just go to Roca, ROKA.com. That's 20% off at Roca.com. Use the code THEMOVE. Hey, George, guess who's back?
Who?
Our friends over at The Feed are back to keep us hydrated and fueled throughout the Tour de France.
Mosca.
All right, listen, here's the thing about The Feed, and I say it every year. The Feed has been with us for a long time, many, many years.
Yes, they have.
And I literally kick myself that I didn't think of this idea.
We both do.
We all know, and now we have Bradley here. We know what it's like. And they had a little hit on the show today with one of the Soigneurs showing the feed bags and different days and different heats but nonetheless, they're getting sick of eating the same shit every year.
Yeah, they're getting totally sick of it at this point, and they're trying to trade with different teams. It's happening all the time now.
Yeah. But anyways, The Feed is back. For those who don't know, it is the largest online marketplace for sports nutrition. You can pretty much buy whatever you want.
Yeah, I love that you can buy single servings of everything. When I get my feed box, I usually get at least 5 different gels and a couple different hydration packs as well.
Do you think they have somebody in there like going like Honey Stinger, for example? Like they come in packs of, I don't know, 20. You think there's somebody in there like taking them out and going, he wanted one waffle. Here you go.
I know they have a very high-tech factory.
That's dope.
Going on there.
I think but I wouldn't want to be the guy that's like, okay, I'm going to take out one waffle. Because this guy wanted one waffle. True story. Anyways, here's the math. George sucks at math, so here's the math. You get 11 products for $21. That's 50% off. All you got to do is head to thefeed.com, and you'll see the pack on there. You actually get the musette bag and the bottle. Thefeed.com. Talk about tomorrow?
Yeah, we're going to come back to a couple things from today at the end of the show.
Well, let's talk about it now.
You want to?
This is the move. Well, we can do whatever we want.
Okay. First let's talk about the fact that NBC on Peacock today mentioned Lance Armstrong.
Whoa. I know.
And it was actually Phil Liggett who mentioned your name. Well, and we've got a graphic. It was in reference to where the stage ended today. You won there in 2001.
Interesting.
It was stage 18 of that.
Time trial, right?
According to many, the Tour de France didn't even happen in 2001, but it was cool. We were in the gym, and actually, Bradley's the one who stopped. He's like, "Look at that." I was like, no, this can't be right. But yeah, that's kind of neat.
It was a 61K individual time trial. You won it. Ulrich was third. It was an average speed of 49.28.
But it was long.
Hour 14.
Yeah.
It was a long time trial.
That's a
long day.
And by the way, that year they had 2 of those. Right? So that's...
Did you win both of them?
Yes, sir.
Bobby Julich was 7th in that time trial.
Nice.
Our man, Bobby.
Yeah, we had a really funny story about what year was that?
99.
1999.
So the time trial Mets.
Bobby Julich came off a podium of the Tour de France.
Yeah.
And is starting, I think, right behind or right in front of Bobby, or right
in front of Lance.
In front of Lance, and they were weighing the bikes at the time, right before the start, because of the weight limit. And what happened next, Sir Bradley?
So you were going to get your bike weighed, and Bobby tells a story that his bike was just sort of 10 kilos. And you said to him, "Where the fuck are you going on that thing?" and he's
right before the start of the time trial.
He said he rolled off that ramp demoralized, and then he crashed halfway through that time. Remember?
Yeah.
Still thinking about how heavy that thing is. You know what?
And that is a total Lance Armstrong moment. We all know him quite well, and I could see it happening.
That stuff happens, right? I mean, you gotta pedal the thing fast, but.
What bike was that, by the way, that he was on?
It would have been a Fondriest.
A Fondriest.
That was for sure
gracious.
By the way,
they were nice looking bikes, weren't they?
They were, yeah.
It's just heavy. For those who are at home, that's 22 pounds.
Yeah, and yours was probably, what, 7.5 kilos?
By the way, those of you listening to
the lighter than that.
Listening to the show for the next week with Sir Bradley with us, he remembers everything. What bike brand Bobby was on in '99 in a time trial. Yeah. Like, it's freakish.
Yeah, it is freakish.
They might have been MBK by then.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll have to double check that one.
Yeah.
Wow.
You do have this.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I think they were MBK by then.
I mean, Lance doesn't remember stages he won.
No, I know. Like, for example, the one you pulled up, I was like, huh, that's kind of cool.
Nice little memory. Another thing we need to address before we move on to tomorrow is there was a little bit of smack talking going on amongst some GC people.
Yeah.
I caught bits and pieces of it.
Yeah.
But
So
fill us in on how that went down.
Well, a lot of people, some people were asking about trash talk in the Peloton, which we don't really think there is much going on. But in the press conference, first rest day press conference, we had Pogačar sort of saying he thinks Vindigo is scared of him. We had Remco criticizing Vindigo for not pulling through on that stage. And then we had Vindigo saying, I'm feeling good and I'm getting better every day. So I don't know. It's kind of interesting.
That's quite a statement for him to make, isn't it? Pogačar, that he's scared of him.
Yeah.
I mean, that could backfire.
Yeah, I 100% agree.
Because I wouldn't say that Vingegaard was scared of him. Vingegaard admitted that he thought he was the strongest rider.
Yeah.
At the moment, after that stage the other day, but that's quite a brash statement.
I mean, in your situation, and you're on your teammate's spare bike.
Yeah.
Would you pull through?
And it's quite degrading that to say someone's scared of you. Because I wouldn't. I mean, he's a 2-time winner of the Tour de France, isn't he? I actually think that could put some fire in his belly.
I agree. Yeah, 100%.
What do you think, Lance?
I agree. I mean, I think we all share the sort of the same. It's not even a secret anymore. I mean, I think Vingegaard's coming.
Well, he's coming. You've been baffled in the recent years about how these young guys get off the bike, hug it out.
Yeah.
They're buds, and so
I'm not sorry, JP, to interrupt. I'm actually really interested in y'all's when you were in your GC position. Both of you guys won the Tour de France. What was the first rest day like? Press conferences, and what was the team saying for you guys to say, not to say? You probably don't remember because you barely remember your stage ones, but you might remember. I don't know.
Yeah, well, the first one, where obviously Froome had attacked me on La Trousière.
That's right, yeah.
So our first day press conference, I'd won the time trial the day before or after, and sort of I had a 2-minute lead by then. So that we had a lot of background talk before we went into that about what to say and what the kind of questions we were going to get given. But I remember someone saying, it was a Danish commentator, and he said, you're kind of like a Batman and Robin situation. I said, yeah, but I'm fucking Batman. I can never forget that. Oh, yeah. But yeah, no, it was... and then I think the next day in L'Equipe I had a British teacup, and they put it on that I'm coming to fight. They're like a Winston Churchill thing it was. But yeah, I mean, that was most interesting. All the talk had become about just us two and no one else in the race.
Yeah, correct.
But yeah, we still had Vincenzo Nibali there, who was third.
Yeah.
And Cadell by then had started to lose a bit of a...
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It was... Yeah. This is actually it's made it quite a good race now with this
for sure.
This sort of trash talk.
And for all of our viewers and listeners, that it's required by the ASO that you guys attend these press conferences, which is the last thing they wanted to do on rest days, but they got to go and they got to answer all these questions.
That's when they loved COVID.
Yeah.
Oh, so sorry, we cannot gather as a group. Oh, no press conference. Thank God for COVID. Don't just take that out of context. Don't just take that and spread that around. But that's what they're thinking. Cool. Like we don't have to go sit and get hammered by these journalists.
Yeah.
But I think it's good. And there's a lot of spice. It isn't just Vingegaard and Pogačar, right? It's because Geraint Thomas is weighing in. I mean, Geraint Thomas came out and said he thinks Vingegaard's going to win the Tour. Here's a former winner. Here's a guy who's not just a former winner. He's in the Peloton, so he has. Yeah. We can talk about this all we want.
Yeah.
We're looking on TV, trying to figure it out. He's there. Like,
do you think some riders now are beginning to get a bit tired of Pogačar? The way he's riding, his dominance, because he's been like this all season. With statements like that, is he getting a bit above his station now? Because one of the things that endeared him to people at the Giro was how he'd come off the bike and hug his opponents, give them jerseys and things. But a statement like that is going to get you disliked pretty quick.
Yeah, I mean, well, then they to counteract that, they did show a video of him on the rest day going up to some kid, high-fiving it with him, which is kind of cool. I mean, I feel like that was staged, clearly. Yeah, it could have been staged.
They missed out the one where he spat at the child.
Yeah, but one thing is for certain. I don't remember the last time we're coming into the day after the rest day where we're not quite sure who's going to win.
No.
And we're not quite sure how Remco is going to react in the latter part of the Tour de France. If Vindigo's on the way up, Pogacar may have been at his best already. I mean, this is as exciting as it can be right now.
No.
And it's going to get better and better.
This is unexpected.
And if he's getting stronger, like, why shame him for sitting on anyway? Even if it's not his bike.
I think he's got a green card to do that.
Absolutely.
And in fact, he should have used that green card even more when he went with Pogacar that day. I mean, what a great excuse. Hey, buddy. I know what I would have said.
I had 3 months off.
I am so sorry. I have not raced until I was in a ditch in Tour of the Basque Country.
Yeah.
I'm going to sit on.
Remco was in that same ditch.
Yes. So,
but I tell you what, Remco could come good in the third week.
Yes. And that's also
He's
been
a tough little cookie.
Yep,
that has been unexpected as well,
And he's full of confidence and saying how much he's looking forward to that last week. And we have seen him the last couple of years have that one bad day. But like I said at the beginning in the preview show, if y'all remember, and the Remco Haydaratis were sitting next to me saying, no, he's got no chance. Well, he's got a chance.
I think the thing that's going to happen in that third week is Pogacar's team have got to be up to the fight as well.
Yeah,
because I think they've had a tough first half of the race,
some drama,
and Johan was telling me the other day just about he wasn't too confident in the race director from that team, in his ability to direct those guys,
manage the personalities,
which I thought was quite interesting.
Yeah, well, he knows more than he knows a lot about more than anybody about the sport, but he also knows how to manage a team and manage personalities. Like, sit down.
So I think it's going to come down to a lot more than as whether Pogacar's got the legs or not. I think there could be a lot of other things that play.
This would be such a death blow if Vingegaard wins this tour in your Pogacar. Hard to come back from that. I mean, hard to just to reframe your.
He led for 3 weeks of the Giro as well.
Yeah, he did.
We forget that at the moment, don't we?
I know. Yeah.
I think he was upset too. I wish I had saved it. I saw a social clip. His girlfriend, who's a damn good rider, did not get selected for the Olympics.
Ooh. Oh, yeah, really?
Yeah, and I think she just won the time trial too. So, he's got things going on in his head that are not making you happy.
Let's talk about and look at tomorrow's stage, because George, you talk about somebody having a bad day. This is the day where you cannot have this. This is a day will catch you out. If you're having a bad day, you're going to get caught.
Yeah.
Right? And this is in a part of it's in the very middle of France. Hence the name, the Massif Central. It's typically scorching hot. I did a little Troy Kimmeling, and it is not going to be hot. However, it's just a rugged place. There's a lot of farms,
sticky
and
roads.
The pavement, right? The chip seal that they use there is it just doesn't roll, right?
Yeah.
And it just makes the whole day harder and harder. Not a short day, 211 kilometers. Question for both of you guys, JB, if you want in on this question too, I'll give it to you. But I have a feeling you're not gonna like it. But question for whoever: how many meters of how much total vert does that day look like to you?
I guess 2,000 meters.
Yeah, I was going to say 2,500.
I have I'm just random. I'm a bit low, 1 meter.
Okay. You're all wrong.
Yeah.
It's like The Price is Right.
I know.
You're safe because you didn't go over.
I didn't overbid.
If you go over, you're out.
Yeah.
None of y'all went over.
Okay.
This stage tomorrow that we just saw, 4,350 meters of climbing.
Oh, Jesus.
Holy, that's
sneaky. In the Massif Central,
this is going to be
with that terrain. And for those who think in feet, just, if y'all are bored, just go out and ride. Just try this. Or in your neighborhood, right? 14,300 feet of climbing. That's sneaky.
So go back to that profile real quick, because you can see those, just even that little bump at the start. Yeah. We all know how much that hurts.
This is a kind of stage that could race for 2 hours.
Yeah, exactly.
You'll have 20 guys go away.
So for a team who's controlling the yellow, or helping the yellow jersey, it's a nightmare of a day. I still have nightmares from the Massif Central, because why you see these little rollers that aren't even categorized. It's so hard to control breakaways because they're going to be tag teaming, and on these descents right after those bumps, they get the peloton from behind just get speed.
They make it run.
They go with momentum. They get run at you.
They make it run.
Worst state of control.
You know when it rains in the Massif Central?
Yeah,
they're horrible as well. Aren't they?
Oh yeah, for sure.
The rain is not in the forecast. It looks to be.
Just one little question on today, though. Did you see Christophe Laporte up there, second wheel going into that last?
Yeah. Actually, Bobby texted me earlier. He's like, what was he doing there? Well, he was leading out Wout van Aert.
Right. Sometimes you forget that because he's got the European Champs jersey.
Yeah.
We got it.
Interesting.
We got it.
But he was, by the way, Christophe Laporte
got it.
had a stud of a day on the gravel day 2 days ago. I mean, he was up there with Nigo the whole time.
Boy.
He was the ultimate teammate.
Oh, kid's a stud.
Yeah, total stud.
And he listens to The Move, which makes him like a fucking 10x stud.
Of course he does.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. A French rider in the peloton listening to The Move? That's kind of weird, actually, but I love it. I love it. He's like trying to translate. Anyways. JB, what?
I think that covers everything unless you have more thoughts on tomorrow.
We do have, tomorrow we've showed Wiggo's look, his cowboy hat. I asked him this morning, I said, and for those who don't know, we're sitting here in Aspen, Colorado. It is the greatest place in the world in the summer, I think. So I was just over a cup of coffee. I said, how's Aspen treating you? He goes, I'm not leaving, mate. I was like, okay, good to know. You might just stay.
I might. I'm making plans.
Let's get you through the rodeo first, okay?
Yeah.
My first rodeo.
Rodeo and Colombia's playing Uruguay tomorrow. My point, I know you hate soccer.
Wait, who are they playing? Eritrea?
Uruguay. Yeah.
They have this thing at the rodeo for all the kids. It's called mutton busting. You should go over it. It's super cute.
Yeah, you got to pick up at a sheep, and you got
to hold on. They give the kids the helmets and everything, and you have to be.
You got to throw it up against the wall 100 times.
And you hold on to them, you grab onto their fur, and these little whatever they are, sheep, I guess. You run out there, and these kids fucking holding on.
Kill the sheep.
How much would it cost us to convince that rodeo to let Wiggo do the mutton?
Some rodeos do let amateurs get on smaller bulls with their horns whacked off. I've seen that. I mean, it's hysterical.
If they don't do it now.
I'm not doing all that. I'm just there for the look.
Yeah.
And the beer.
Yeah. No, maybe not.
Whiskey.
I'm taking.
You training hard this morning. All right.
Yeah.
All right. What else?
Ventum trivia.
Yes.
And I've got some good emails for you. I grabbed a few because I thought it might be light today. But Ventum Trivia first, we're giving away a brand new NS1 road bike at the end of the tour. Nice. You can register every day by submitting your answer. And yesterday's question was in February 2023. Tom Pidcock descended in the mind-blowing fashion down one of Los Angeles' most famous canyons. What was the name of that one?
Stunt.
Tuna Canyon Road.
Oh, yeah.
What?
Was it one way?
It's a one-way road. So you can take the whole road and bomb down. Yeah.
But still.
Where does that go down into?
Goes down to PCH, right?
Yeah, right into Malibu.
Yeah.
Today's question.
No, thank you, by the way.
No, not interested. What fitness competition did Lance recently get first place in his age group?
I'll probably skip that one.
Send your answer to ventumracing.com. You can just go back in our socials and find it. Our Lance's socials.
It was that curling thing you did, right?
Curling, yeah.
It was Aspen Rec Center.
Yeah. Ventumracing.com/TheMove. Submit your answer. Okay, I've got.
By the way, they do curling in the winter at the rec center. Just FYI.
Totally made that up.
Really?
But, they do. Yeah.
Makes sense. It's a winter town.
Yeah.
They got a bowling alley in Snowmass too. Did you know that?
I did not.
Okay. Neither we do.
All right, here we go with some listener input here and questions. Ben, this is from.
We're not interested in input.
Okay. Well, you'll see what I mean on this one.
I'm totally kidding. Ever since the one day the lady said, well, he has to have Irish heritage because he talks all the time. Whatever her name was. But can I just interject one? Sure. The lady asked the other day, and it was kind of a long question, so we broke it up and just answered one piece. She asked, do some of the riders train with weight vests?
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was a cool part of that question because it makes sense, right? If you're trying to, and the answer is I mean, I might be wrong. I don't think I am, is a flat out no. I mean, you couldn't wear a weight vest. That changes the whole dynamic of the way you sit on the bike. I think it'd be a bad idea. I've never heard of that happening, but I thought it was a good, I mean, it kind of makes sense. It just, it's not the best idea.
Gotcha. Tyler writes, and stick with this, it's a little lengthy, but been an avid listener, and Lance is why I got into cycling. Despite being not a cycling fan, my dad enjoyed the show, and at times I'd catch him debating why Pogacar or Jonas would win the day, and etc. Sadly, last summer would be our last year watching and listening after he lost his battle with cancer. Even in the hospital, he'd let me turn on the tour and listen to the move. On top of that, my mom always spoke and admired Lance for his work with cancer research after she won her battle in the 80s. But after a terrible summer, her own cancer came back and she didn't win this time. Love is a crazy thing, and sometimes you can't be apart. With all that, I just want to personally thank Lance for all of his work on cancer.
Thank you.
And then I do have a question for the guys, so all of you can answer this. What was your favorite victory to be a part of for one of your teammates? And Lance, go ahead and say it for us. F you, cancer.
F you, cancer.
So that's Tyler. Tyler in Virginia. Thanks.
Can I say it? Can I say the R-rated version? Yeah.
I have two. Can I get two?
Yeah. Sure.
2003 Tour de France with Lance, just because it was his worst Tour de France and we never knew what was going to happen. And then he finally pulled it off. For me, it was the most exciting and most special to be part of. And I felt like I had a bigger role than I had in the years before that. And so it was a super special tour, stands out for me. Met my wife that year. And then secondly, 2009 Milan-San Remo with Mark Cavendish. Those two stand out the most.
Do you have one, Sir Brad?
Yeah, mine was with Mark Cavendish as well, leading him out in the yellow jersey across the Place de la Concorde in the 2012 Tour, and that was his fourth. I remember that. That was his fourth stage win in Paris, and he was the British world champion as well, the first British world champion since Tommy Simpson. So it was to do that.
You came through the start finish. You were going like 70K an hour. Remember that?
It was great.
Yeah. Elbows in, just full TT mode.
Yeah,
dear God.
Before that, we let George come across the Place de la Concorde on his own off the front, because it was his last tour.
And when that one dude,
someone chased you down. Yeah.
We forget his name. We won't mention his name. But funny enough about that story was. Mark, leading up to that, obviously the whole team was all in for Sir Bradley Wiggins that year, and Mark being world champion, being used to a team around him for lead outs, he would be walking around like dinner tables, especially after. Do you guys need a sprinter on your team? Anybody need me? Anybody? I'm lost here. But to see you lead him out on that last stage was pretty freaking awesome.
We let him out 2 days before that as well.
Correct. Yeah. But you had the win in the bag. But
no, it was great. It was great.
And you won nationals in '98. You won 98.
98,
yeah, I was there. Yeah, I felt like.
Oh my God, he remembers this. Wait, he just totally blew me away here.
Yeah.
And he actually did help.
Do some work
for him. He did help me.
I did.
Holy shit!
1998 was. Well, I have two parts.
You had to dig deep for that one, brother.
Believe me, I was over here thinking, thank God I get to go third, because I can't remember. But I kind of started back in '98 after the cancer, and then said, I had a minute where I was like, screw this, I don't want to do this, and then I'm like, give it a shot. So that was sort of as I was dipping my toe back in the sport, and I felt like I was a super domestique that day.
You were,
and if y'all will recall, I mean, this to me, the Core States race in Philadelphia, up the Manioc Wall with
I've been there,
hundreds of thousands of people, like folks. Shit, it's easy to race bikes on days like that. It was
it was awesome. Yeah, and he gave me an awesome lead out. You were there. I mean, it was. We should pull up that picture. That was a cool race for me.
But back to 2003, George is right. The thing that stands out for me, man, I was like, I don't get too dark or bummed out. I'm just like, the whole time I'm like, this sucks. I got this jersey. Jan Ulrich is gonna fucking run me over in the last time trial. I'm gonna be the idiot that loses. And George is always in the back, and he's got back of the bus, and he has this little white thing with him all the time. And he's and finally when I said, "What the fuck is that? What do you keep doing with that?" And he's like, "It's this it's an MP3 player, plays Apple. Just it's a
iPod or something.
It's an iPod." I said, "What the fuck is an iPod?" I said, and had the wheel.
Yeah,
this is a true story. And I'm like, bro, that nobody does. No, that will never work. I was like, that's the dumbest idea ever. And he's like, look, and I would never listen to anything that is on his music catalog, but I managed to find some. I don't even know what it was, and I was like, this is kind of cool. All right, this will get me through a day. And then, but it was one of the very first iPods, and I was like. But I legitimately thought that this has no chance.
You probably could have put $100 in Apple that day, and it'd be worth.
Yeah, and that was Dylan Casey who got us on that.
Yeah. All right, here's another question. Love the show and have been listening since day one. Fun fact: when I was 18, I was backpacking around Europe and saw Lance in person on his 6th, I believe. It was massively inspiring for me. Please keep it up, boys. Can you talk a little bit about how contract negotiations and signings go on during the tour? Seems like that adds another layer of drama to the already taxing 3-week race. Is that all teams or just some? See you in the douches, Joe.
Well, I mean, is there still the rule that you're not allowed to officially engage with riders up until September 1st? Is that right?
I don't think so, because I heard somebody signing with somebody
that
the other
used
day.
to be the case, didn't it?
Yeah,
You couldn't have discussions until the 1st of September.
But it was a rule, but everybody did it anyway.
Everybody broke. Because when I was with Garmin in 2009, on the rest day, I went to a supermarket, to a Carrefour, to meet Dave Brailsford in private about starting Team Sky. And but we couldn't tell JV about it.
I think that's still the case. I'll ask Johan about it, but I think they happen because everyone's there. You can meet up, but it may not. It has to be kind of off the radar.
Sneaking around the Carrefour. Yeah. Boy, that was...
I'll meet you next to the bread. Aisle 24.
Where we can talk about how much bread you're going to give me.
Yeah, that's basically it.
You know what bread means in English, right? In American. Bread is like, George says paper.
Paper.
Okay, paper. Bread.
Yeah.
Bang as a mash.
Let me ask you another question, Bradley, because we talked about you. You know, you're knighted from... the Queen.
Yeah, the Queen.
Now
it's the King.
Now we got a king. You got a king. And there's only been 3 of y'all, right?
Male cyclists. Yeah.
Yep.
There's a couple of female, which is a damehood.
Damehood. I didn't know that, but I learned that the other day. Here's a question though, and I know you guys have history. Try to remove that, but I mean, Chris Froome has won how many tours? 4. Was there? Yeah. Wouldn't there be some?
He deserves one.
Wouldn't there be some converse? Is it? I have a theory on this, but. Wouldn't you think that he would be in that conversation? And maybe it's too late now because
he should be in the conversation. I don't know whether it's because he doesn't really get truly recognised by like the
because
royals
he has dual notion.
Yeah, and obviously he's never really resided in the UK, but. You know, he's a British resident. He's a British passport holder. He's representing Britain at the Olympic Games. He's won a medal, and as you say, he's the greatest tour rider of our generation. Yeah, certainly my generation. And he's won 4 Tour de France's, the Giro, 2 Vueltas. But he certainly does. Yeah,
agreed.
I'll have a word with King Charlie.
Which you showed us an awesome picture last night of you getting knighted.
That was another medal I got off the King.
Oh, that was
the Queen gave me my knight.
Okay, got it.
Could you have the conversation perhaps this week while you're here?
I'll message him. We'll FaceTime him later.
All right. If you have a question for an upcoming show, send it to TheMove@WeDo.team, and let's hear from Eritrea. All right.
Yes.
Send us a note.
All you Eritreans.
Videos.
We can bring the show out there live, no?
Yeah.
We're first going to go and just check it out and see how the dial-up is. We stream the show, and we got by the way, tomorrow back on Peacock. I don't know how the data is in Eritrea, so it might be tough for Peacock, but I'm in.
Yeah,
I'm in.
We're all in.
Yep.
Asterisk. George must find a friend with a jizzy. Yeah,
I'll make some calls.
Tomorrow's a big day. Massif Central, long, tons of climbing, heads up on the bad day. And just real quick on this, I think if this is a day that was almost too easy to come out of a rest day, well, then that makes tomorrow even more important.
Yeah.
So that's why we get up early and watch the race. Thanks for tuning in. See you all tomorrow.